How are you? It's great to see you all. Thanks for stopping by to check out my video today. This is the first one that I am kind of putting out there as a new start, fresh start. And first one on my YouTube channel. I'm going to move my videos over to YouTube for the time being. A couple of reasons. One, I can do longer videos and not have to worry about trying to cram what I have to say into a small time, because this is not going to be a short little clip. And also, it's just a platform that I understand a little bit more than a lot of others. I am not techie, and this is definitely a new venture. So, welcome. And for some of you, you were following my Facebook page, Instagram. I was doing little short videos back at the beginning of the year, some Wisdom Wednesday kind of things, and it was an idea that I put out there, but it just wasn't resonating well with me. I was struggling to do it, wasn't really sure what was going on, and that's a video for a whole nother time. But I took a break from it. I didn't realize how many of you really actually enjoyed watching those, so thank you for those of you that have reached out and were like, when are you going to do some videos again? So here we are. I don't know when these are going to go up. This is hard for me to do. I don't like to be on camera. I don't like recording myself. I don't like hearing myself back. I think there's a lot of us that feel that way. As a singer, I don't like to hear myself sing. It's always been something that just, I don't want to hear it. But we're just going to push through and try to push through the fear of this one. I have made probably 5 videos like this, and they never make the cut. They never make it to the channel. I am making a very hard effort today to do something different. Today is November 20th, which is a new moon, and lots of new energy, and everything that's been throwing at me over the last couple of days just says today's the day. Today's the fresh start, the new start. There's been so many things going on, and today is the day, and it has a whole nother significance and a whole nother importance today, which I'll get to in a second. But let's just start there. So let's recap. It's been a while since I've seen some of you and had a chance to talk to you. I haven't been on social media. I've pretty much removed myself from social media. I do still follow some things, but I tell you right now, if you're trying to invite me to an event and it's only sent to me through Facebook, I won't see it. It's free. I'm living my life away from what everybody else's looks like, and outside of posting for business purposes, and when I feel like it's really speaking to my heart to put something out there, that's when I'm on social. Just so that you know that, and you're not thinking I'm ignoring you by any means. There's nothing personal going on. 2025 has been said, I've heard it several times, and say that it is the year of transformation. And I know from talking to a lot of you that you have felt that in many ways. It has been a year of shifting beliefs, shifting values, shifting family structures. Everything has just changed, and I have been in it deep for the last 6 months. I was very vague on my Facebook page and Instagram when I had canceled my yoga classes at the beginning of the year, and just that we had, suffered some losses, and that I was not able to continue teaching at that moment. Now I'm ready to kind of get it out there, and I will likely be emotional. I have my Kleenex standing by because this is raw. It's still very raw. But I feel like it's the whole purpose of putting this out there, because I know a lot of you are suffering too. Here we go. So let's recap a little bit. I mentioned that we suffered some losses. Starting in April, we heard of the passing of my fiance's mom. Wonderful lady. She unfortunately lived about 9 hours from us, so we were not able to be with her at the time, but we were blessed to be able to have seen her a few months prior. And I really got to have a different appreciation for her in that time. We had great conversations. And I know that she was ready, but it's never easy to lose a pivotal woman in the family. And that is what Sandra was for the family, for sure. A week later, phone call that I will never forget, coming out of work and getting a voicemail from Niagara Regional Police that there had been an incident. And hearing that my former spouse and father of my special needs child had passed away. And he was 46. Of course, as a mom, you don't know what to think. I knew my son was in his care at the time, so I wasn't sure what he had seen, what he had experienced, how this was going to affect him. Still working through what that is as well. He has a rare syndrome called Cornelia de Lange syndrome. An incredible, incredible young gentleman. He is 17, and I know he's been through a lot in his life, and it's never easy for a kid to lose their father. He had twin boys as well, and so he leaves behind 3 very loving boys. Of course, for anybody who's known me for any length of time or knows me personally, you would know that our history was very tumultuous and very challenging, and has been the source of a lot of my trauma, a lot of my pain, a lot of my anger for many years. We were separated for 17 years, but we were still legally married. So it came with a lot of layers to the loss. A lot of stuff that I'm still processing. And I think I will be for a long time. But as unique as that is, today, of all days, would have been his birthday. So, in honoring my growth, Brian, happy first heavenly birthday. You are missed. Your boys miss you. And I promise you that is not the response you would have seen from me a year ago. So we've had a lot of growth. We're still trying to deal with that information. The next day we heard from our family in Pennsylvania that our grandma had passed. Also very blessed to have been able to see her in November for her 100th birthday. And as sad as it is to see her go, what an incredible 100-year journey that she had. I'm blessed to have been a part of the last 45 years of that. And she is greatly missed. We quickly had to arrange getting a passport for Owen. We got a passport for him within a day because I would have normally left him with his dad for us to go to the funeral. Of course, that was no longer available to me as of the day before. So we quickly raced and got ourselves situated to get down there, and had a chance to go down and spend some time with our family. With all of the losses that we had just suffered, it was a bit of a welcome step away, and also so sad to, be connecting with everybody after losing grandma. And you can kind of always, they say that people know. They know when their time has come. Maybe not the details, but there's this knowing. And reflectively, I knew that something was happening as we were leaving. And I've talked about this with our family down there, but my mom hugged everybody down there like it was the last time she was going to hug them. And she was saying goodbye. And 6 weeks later, she was admitted to the hospital, given a diagnosis of stage 4 ovarian cancer, and she was gone 4.5 days later. I'm really blessed that my parents and I always had a very open line of communication about their wishes and what their plans were and what their arrangements were. That was always a conversation in our house. So to not have to talk about those things in those 4.5 days, because that's all I had, was a gift that I didn't even know I was getting. She was my rock. And it rocked my world. There's also something to be said about when you lose your last parent. I am also 1 week away from the passing of my dad's anniversary. The anniversary of my dad's passing. Okay, that's right. It'll be 4 years in a week that I lost him. A lot of loss. And yet, I feel so much peace. It's been a struggle, and it has not been easy. And I know so many of you that are going through losses. And it is hard. It is hard work to get through grief. I don't think we talk about it enough. I think we're kind of expected to, take your day off of work and carry on. And that's it. But I think if we're all very real about it with ourselves, we know that we need more attention in this area, a more heartfelt conversation, and more really recognizing what it means. And I can tell you that having 4 very impactful people in my life pass within 7 weeks of each other, it has shifted my perspective on just about everything. It's shaken my world up in every way, shape, and form. There's not an area of my life that hasn't been touched by one or all of them. Something that I have never really been open about. But again, those that have been close to me over the years know that I have suffered depression and anxiety for most of my life. I know I really don't remember a time that it hasn't. Maybe the very young days. But even there was still presence of the anxieties, the worries. And it came from generations of it. There was only one person in this world who really knew what I was going through over the years, and that was my mom. And I can say with 100% certainty that she saved my life more than once. So my journey through depression and anxiety has not been an easy one. I don't think it ever is. But anybody who's experienced it knows that there's really not a whole lot of great treatment out there. There's a lot of band-aids. I've been on every medication, almost every one of them at least once. They changed me as a person. They changed my behaviors. They changed everything. And I was never me. They never felt right, but that was my own journey to go through. And something I didn't realize at the time was that movement and exercise and all of these things, they made me feel good. That's all I knew. I didn't know any science. I didn't know why. I didn't ask questions. I just know that when I was doing those things, I felt my best. Which ultimately led me into the fitness field. I didn't connect those dots at the time, but through a lot of my training that I've done recently, I've now made those connections. Going back to school as an adult for fitness and health was a big step. I changed my career. I changed everything that I was doing and wholeheartedly threw myself into it. Had some amazing positions and had a chance to impact a lot of people. Taught a lot of classes, trained a lot of people. But something never resonated with me. There was something about even saying I was a personal trainer that never felt right. I, again, couldn't put my finger on what. It just didn't feel me. Fast forward a little bit. 2019, I suffered a concussion. Took me out of teaching. I suffered for over a year with symptoms. And as anybody who has done weight loss before, you know that if you're training and you're training and you're training and you lose the weight and you stop doing everything and you sit and do cold turkey, just do nothing, it catches up with you. So it caught up with me. I put on more weight in 8 months than I ever carried, even with both of my pregnancies. I really put the weight on. And for me personally, that played a bigger mental game than I could have ever imagined. Add on the fact that I am a personal trainer and I should know better, and why can't I do this, and the beating up of your own self when you put the weight on. And I know the chemistry, the science of how to take it off, but I can't make myself do it. Makes you question, do I actually know what I'm doing? Is my training gone? Did I not understand it? It makes you question everything. And all the while, nobody knew. However, all it took was somebody kind of giving me a little whew, like she put on weight, and it would send me spiraling. It would never show it, but it would send me spiraling. So I spent a lot of time beating myself up over it. Not really sure how it transitioned, but I've gone back through, journal entries and notes and things and tried to piece it together, but I can't pinpoint what really happened in certain phases. I was so into my own deep in despair. I just decided, hey, today's the day. And I started working out again. Simple as just doing walks. And it started to motivate me. And of course, once you start, you kind of just, you push through and you keep going. And I saw some gains, and that helped, create some changes in my body. And of course, people took notice, and then they make comments, and then you start to think, wow, they really did think I was fat. And I know people mean well, but and totally would have never meant anything by it. But there is something to be said about that's the first thing people notice, is that you gain or you lost weight. And it had nothing to do with me as a person. It was just physically what they saw. I kept pushing through. I wouldn't say that I did anything special. I knew that I had to do something. I have never liked going to the gym. Yep, I'm a personal trainer. I hate the gym. It's boring to me. I don't like what it looks like. I don't like being in the energy of the people. I don't like the muscle lunkheads over in the mirror gawking. It's irritating and it bothers me. So I do everything in my own home, my own property. I have my own equipment, but a lot of it was put away. It was a journey. But in going through all of this, then I also developed some sort of autoimmune response. And I know a lot of people can relate to this. I'm hearing about autoimmune it seems like every friend I have has some sort of autoimmune response going on, especially women. I'm not immune to that. It started and I had no idea what was going on. I have so much knowledge of anatomy and physiology, and I'm trained in it, and yet I could not move my body through what was happening. I got to a point I couldn't do a push-up. And I know I said to some people back then, if you had have asked me, I would have said I would be in a wheelchair in 6 months. That's where I was headed, from one extreme to another. All of my training took a stop, which I also knew wasn't the right thing to do, but what do? You're in so much pain. Again, the mental game kind of kicks in and it takes over. So I started to do some research and digging, and I was having MRIs and x-rays and blood work, you name it, they've done it. They tested me for everything. Everything came back negative. Hey, let's call it fibromyalgia. Nobody knows. I think like that's the catch-all for autoimmune right now, is let's call it fibromyalgia and send you on your way. Here, try this pill. None of which worked. Actually made my depression and anxiety worse. Everything was snowballing from there. So I took it upon myself to say, hey, you enjoy research. You enjoy the human body and anatomy. So figure this out. You can figure it out. Your body is an incredible organism that can heal its own wounds externally and bones. We know this, but why? Like, there's something else going on. So I started diving into what might help. And the first thing was just movement and mobility. And also looking into why I had so much inflammation in my body. And that's what they were saying, is that I had so much inflammation, but they didn't know why. Okay, well, let's get rid of the inflammation, and movement can help. But also, one of the very first things that I saw on the list was alcohol. Now, if you've ever had a moment where you read information and you go, well, that's not me. Yeah, that was it. Alcohol. I don't drink that much. Can't affect me. Yeah, good lie to tell to yourself. So I took a deeper look and realized there was a problem. I was drinking a lot more than I wanted to let on. And I know that a lot of you have done this. You go to the doctor, they ask you how many drinks per week or month that you have, and you go, less than 5. But if you actually take into account per ounce what you're drinking, like the 1 glass of wine, that's, that giant glass of wine is technically more than 1 drink, just so you know. So I sat down and I was really honest with myself, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. And I started to make the connection to, hey, when I have a drink, I'm in more pain and it amplifies what I'm feeling. So, hey, dummy, you're doing it to yourself. So I said, okay. I've done elimination diets for other things. I was vegan, gluten-free for a year while I tried to figure out what was going on with gut health. So, all right, well, let's just take alcohol out for a couple weeks and see what it does. Snowball. Once you remove one piece, it turns to something else. And that kind of cracked open the door to what I now refer to as my healing journey, and where I'm now taking my business. This is it. This is my new life. This is what I do. This is where I'm headed. That simple thing of removing alcohol from my diet changed everything, and had me really reflect on why I was drinking, where I was drinking, and making that connection. So I wrote it down. I had to look it up. I have been officially alcohol-free 1,040 days today. Pretty awesome. It'll be coming up on 3 years, which is, I would have never said that would have been the case, but it hasn't been easy by any means, and I encourage anybody who maybe is thinking about it, reach out, touch base with me, because I would love to support you on a journey of seeing what that looks like for you, because it is life-changing. With that, then, take the alcohol out. Yes, it physically changed my body. Yes, it removed a lot of what I was feeling for inflammation. Added into doing some mobility work. I, grabbed another mobility program. I was teaching mobility classes, and that felt incredible. I was regaining my strength. And no, I had no energy to be able to do like high intensity workouts like I used to. I was moving and I was seeing the change in my body, which was also good for my health. And it just consistently led to more things. I have always had a passion and desire for yoga. It forced me to finally get my certifications in yoga, even though I had been teaching it forever. But I wanted those credentials. I wanted to dig deeper into the philosophy and the structure of yoga, not just the movements, not just what the fitness aspect of yoga is, but more into the mind, body, and spirit side of yoga. And in doing so, it's just continued to open more doors, more learning, more path. I've added Reiki to the mix, and I'm a very science-based, evidence-based person. So something in the energy world just didn't, I couldn't understand it until I experienced it. And it has been another piece of the puzzle for me that has been so fantastic for my healing journey. That's a video for another day. But what was also interesting is that when I wasn't putting the pieces together was the exercise and my mental health. And the pattern is there. You can see it. You know it. They talk about it. But there was really no information connecting the two to a science-based, written anything. So I was extremely excited when CSAP, which is the governing body that I'm certified under, the Canadian Society for Exercise Physiology, announced that they had a new specialization program called Exercise for Depression that they were launching. And that was the program that connected all the dots for me. I wrote this down because I didn't even know this was the case, but this Exercise for Depression Specialist program is the world's first exercise and depression specialization to support mental health through movement. And those are their words. That's how it was presented. So in conjunction with the University of BC, they developed a program around how personal trainers and exercise physiologists can support somebody with depression and anxiety through movement. And they didn't label it exercise. It's through movement. And that's the key. And I think it was the key for me, is just knowing that I had to move. It wasn't about going to the gym. It wasn't about this structured routine. It was just, I knew I had to move. And that is what this program brought to light. It brought the science behind what I was already experiencing personally to what I needed research-wise to be able to know that this is a thing and how to do so. I'm beyond excited that at the last time I checked on the website, I am one of 5 instructors, or one of 5 people in Canada that have been certified in this program. It's been game-changing for me personally. And so my focus is now to bring this to you and to bring it to the community and to everybody I meet, because let's get real, depression and anxiety has become a major epidemic and a problem. And traditional therapy is not working. The rates of addiction and suicide, drug use, alcoholism, everything that is connected to depression and anxiety, and nobody's fixing it. People aren't able to get the help. And I can tell you personally how hard it is to find a therapist. And if you can't afford one, good luck. You're on wait lists. And when you're in that time frame, if you've actually reached out to somebody and then you're told that there's a wait list or you can't afford it, you don't go back. At least that was my experience. It just feels like you're met with a wall every turn you get. And I'm so lucky to have found an incredible therapist. Love you, Tina. You're incredible. You changed my life. I connected with somebody who saw therapy on a holistic nature and was able to tie yoga and meditation and all of these things that I was already learning about into my own therapy EMDR treatment, so many new therapies that are out there that are not your traditional therapies, but they're not well publicized yet, and the conversations haven't gone there. So to have the exercise fitness world recognize that there is a different way to do this is incredible. What I didn't realize is that I was going to use my own training on myself. And that's what's had to happen. So with all of the things that have happened this year, I would say the first couple of months were just logistics. I spent the first several months just getting through dealing with paperwork and lawyers and funeral arrangements, payments, trying to figure out where all of these things were, life insurance policies, and I was busy. I wasn't processing by any means, and I'd taken time off work to be able to do it. That became, even that is a whole nother story in itself. What I found is that come September is when the heaviest hit me. That's when my oldest went back to school. We were lucky that he was home for all of this. He was home from school and was able to be with us in the roughest time, and we could do that together. And that I'm so glad he was not away at school and having to try to process this all on his own out there. But September came, he went back to school. My little guy went back to school, and I sat in my parents' house by myself. And we've lived in this house for 34 years. My parents had the downstairs, I rented upstairs. Walking in the door and seeing their stuff, their chairs. I had to do a lot of changes, which has led to me having this beautiful space and being able to do this. I feel like this is the gift my parents gave me. One of the gifts they gave me. It's not an easy journey. And when everything really started to hit, I felt myself spiraling. I felt the old habits coming back. And recognizing that the one person who used to be able to pull me out of it wasn't here. So I sat with it in meditation, because this is what I've learned. Do what you've learned, and recognize that I just needed some structure to kind of make me do it, because if left to my own, I would just sit on the couch and cry all day. So I implemented my own plan of by design from the exercise for depression specialist on myself. Programmed some things for myself, just little things that I knew I could accomplish. And some days that meant get dressed. Some days that's all I could do, get dressed. Some days it was make the decision that tonight you don't have the mental space to cook. Let's order out. And knowing that that's okay. We get so tied up in thinking that we have to do everything. And when you're going through stuff like this, the smallest decision can feel like the biggest. And those that are around you don't understand. because maybe they haven't lived it. Maybe they don't know what that's like. And that is often the case. It doesn't matter if your friend has depression. Their depression can be very different than yours. The things that trigger you, the habits and the mental game that goes on in your own head is very different from anybody else's. And that is what's unique about depression, is that there is no one size fits all treatment. This really has to be your work and your desire and your choice to pull yourself out. You have to want to. But I think we've been kind of led to think that it's just something we have to live with forever, and that there's no way out. And if there's anything that you hear today, I want to tell you that there is a way. There is a way out. And I'm still working my way out. I'm by no means out of it. I have days where I just don't want to get dressed, and I don't want to. But I have stuck to the plan I have in place for myself. And I know it's making a difference, because here I am talking to you and not sitting in a corner crying by myself. So that was a whole lot. I just unloaded a lot on you. And, but I just wanted to be as real and as authentic as I possibly can be. So you know where I'm coming from. You know that what I'm bringing to the table is from deep personal knowledge, experience, science, research, and to tell you that you can. And if that's all you need to hear today, is that you can do it, and that I have faith in you, whatever that looks like. Maybe today is the day that you step outside and go for a walk. Today's a new moon. New beginnings. Lots of new things. Lots of incredible energy happening right now, if you let it. So that's it. That's what's to come. I don't know the details. I don't know what this looks like. I'm still have a few logistical things that I am wrapping up here, and it's close. My space is ready. I think I'm just kind of allowing myself to be ready, to be there for you. It's been a struggle to think that I can help somebody when I'm still in it myself. And I actually said those words to my therapist the other day. I said, this that imposter syndrome. How can I possibly help somebody when I'm needing help? And she jokingly got up out of her chair and was heading for the door, and she said, "Girl, if that's the way this is, then I shouldn't be here either." Like we think that our therapists don't have their own issues. I think everybody's got their own struggles. So this is me putting it out there. This is what's happening. I have new programming. I don't know what it looks like. I have no idea. I will be trying to figure that out over the next little bit. But in the meantime, if there is something that I've said that has resonated with you, or you're looking for somebody to help guide you through something, reach out, send me a message. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what's happening for you. What are you hoping for out of this next year? Knowing that 2025 for most people has been chaos, and this year is coming to a close. How do you want to close it? And what do you want to see in 2026? Because you have a choice. You have all the power. With that, I'm going to say goodbye for this time. can't even believe that I've been on here this long. That's a testament to how far I've come, and I can't wait to do it again. So stay tuned and let's connect. Love you. Take care of yourself.